I saw the job on Facebook. My task was to be a cleaner according to the advert. I loved the job because there was high salary, medical and funeral cover. I have to move from Johannesburg to Pretoria for the job. The recruiter told me to meet him in town. I told him where I was and he came and picked me. That church is underground. You go with a lift. I was to stay in a room near the parish. Already there was another cleaner. We stayed together, but getting out was not allowed. The service is done once in a while. When they are on service, that's when you got off. They don't want to see us when they are attending services. One day I forgot my cell phone and returned to pick it. There was this very big thing they were worshipping. I looked again at it. It was a very big. Hello viewers, welcome once again to another educative episode of African Confessions HD right here on Extraordinary Africa. My name is Solution Uncle. If you're still new, in this show we publish lifetime confessions. Usually we publish anonymously for their own safety reasons. Listeners, if you feel you do have a story you want to share and you are seeking for advices, don't be shy, don't be afraid. It's for free here. Here is the platform for you to get all the advices you want. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. The WhatsApp number is +263 775 597 775 +263 775 597 775, or you can contact our PR Fidel Goch at his Gmail account. Fidel Goch at Gmail. FIDELGOCH@gmail.com. Also, listeners, if you have not yet subscribed, can you please subscribe so that the program and the channel can grow. Also, there is this thing most of us have not done already. Make sure we hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's us all hit the notification bell right now so that we won't miss out future uploads. Let's do it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move into our confessions. I am originally from Zimbabwe, came to South Africa seeking greener pastures. All my brothers were residing in Johannesburg, so moving to this country was not hard. Before I came here to work at this evil temple, in Zimbabwe I tried to join the army and could not finish the training because it was very hard. I have that suspicious feeling of not wanting to come out of the country. At some point, my brother sent me money to follow them in South Africa. Instead of following my brothers, I opened a small business. Unfortunately, I was robbed by the robbers and left with no capital. They left me with any stock. So I started going to part-time jobs until I raised my money to go and apply for a passport. I applied for a passport. In a few months later, it was out. I started going to part-time jobs again, trying to raise money so that I can follow. There was no idea besides following my brothers who were residing in South Africa. My parents died when I was still a child. I was staying with my grandparents, and the grandparents were very old. Sometimes the brothers could not send money back home. They were fathers. So it was very difficult for them to balance their families and us, also people who were dwelling here with the grandparents. So I decided to move to South Africa. I went to South Africa and arrived at my brother's. I stayed with my brothers for almost 6 months. I wasn't going to job. I thought when you come here, it's just like easy, it's like that. But it wasn't easy. It was very hard. For some months, I've staying with my brothers till I find an advert on Facebook. That day I was scrolling down, checking whether any of my friends has posted I wanted to comment, when you are not going to work, social media will be the only plan you will be having. So I was unexpecting to see an advert of a job, but I saw it. They were saying you'll be a cleaner and you'll be paid a lot of money. There was also benefits like medical and funeral cover. I really liked the move because I was failing to have my own family because I was afraid who would take care of that family. So I married my wife. There was now much pressure on me. My wife was to stay near my brothers because the recruiter told me that no family is allowed. I went to work, and when I arrived in Pretoria, the man told me to call him. When I arrived, I called him. He came and picked me. We went to this building I can't mention. They might sue me because they might see it as a direct attack on them, but that is what is happening at the city center of Pretoria. I won't mention the building. At that building, on top of the building, they sell shoes. The shoes and clothes are manufactured downstairs. And downstairs, there is this parish which is under the first down floor. He showed me my room. The room was down there. There was already one cleaner working for them. The other was said to have been killed by robbers whilst returning from off. An act which has been happening for years at that place. So I started staying with the guy. The guy told me everything. Mara, this place is so weird. But I didn't take it serious because the wage, the benefits were awesome. So we started staying there. During off days, we will be out. Sometimes we'll be carrying the shoes from the down floor to the shop. So during the days I was working there, one day I was moving in the temple as I was about to put some cobra. There is no tiles in that temple. It's a reddish cobra. I've never seen that type of red. The red. I will be cleaning. Then after that, we will be putting the cobra on the floors. So one day after I finished putting the cobra, I saw a small snake. And you know us, where we came from in our village, when we see a snake, we should kill it. I killed the snake. The next day I was called by the boss. He said, "You are no longer working for us. You are free to go. We will never give you any benefits because you killed some of our owners here, the owners of these buildings." This shocked me. How can a snake, a serpent, being called the owner of the building? So I am back in Zimbabwe. Here in Zimbabwe, I married another woman. Just because we're not allowed to go to off days, this made me and my first wife to broke up because she wasn't able to see me. So by the time I came out of that tunnel, I no longer saw her. So I am back in Zimbabwe. I married another lady. I am now working as a teacher at a private school. This is now my problem. When we give birth to a child, within few days, he or she might die. And most of our babies, it's now 4 babies. We buried them. By the time we went to the cemetery, they were still bleeding. They died the very same way. When we go to the health practitioners, they are saying we are both fine and the children are fine. They won't see the problem which killed the child. So I have to move to a local preacher. The preacher told me he was working with the devil when he was in South Africa. That's where they took your manhood. Now you are just a man, but you can't bear a living thing. This affected me, and this thing is affecting me. I have never told my wife, but that's what is happening now. After that, there is this thing which is also happening. I am seeing a lot of people crying. Why could you robbed us by the time you was cleaning on top of us? I went back to the prophet. He said the floor you was cleaning, he was using people's blood, and there are dead bodies under that floor. At that temple tower, there is a snake which dwells in that tower. I was told this by a lot of sangomas and prophets I consulted. They are telling me that the worshippers of that temple worship a snake, and I was nearly to a point where I was going to join them. Thanks God I am out of this, but I need to know, is it able for me to have children, at least one child? Please publish this one for me. A lot of spiritual practitioners I consulted are saying they don't and can't fix my problem because the thing which took away my reproductive system is more powerful than them. This is my story. The next confessions are strictly for the people above the age of 18. All viewers below the age are advised not to watch or listen. If you're sitting next to those people you can't see with such content, please, you can excuse each other. Please keep me anonymous. This is my confession. Please publish it for me. Hide my identity and notify me when you post. I am currently dating a guy who has been pastoring me for almost 2 years, and we have been dating for 3 months now. We go to the same church, so we know each other. Before we started dating, I knew him to like girls, but however, I accepted to be his girlfriend. He really showed me that he loves me. Ending his relationships, gave me all his attention, and made his plans known to everyone, both at church and his family, that he wants to marry me. He told me everything he had done previously, the multiple sex and abortions. He made his flaws known to me. He treats me like a princess, I must admit. He told me he had hidden stuff on his phone and pastoring him to show it to me. He did, and it was his sex videos with woman and naked woman he had sex with before me. However, I wasn't bored, but I told him to delete it. The next day, I asked him to delete them, but he said he won't, and that is hard and been there before he met me, and that is not my concern. I got pissed and ended the convo. He called several, but there wasn't an answer. He apologized and told me he is going to delete it and that he really loves me. One thing is that anytime he apologizes, he does it like he doesn't know you are hurt with. I'm sorry if you are hurt. It pissed me off. However, I am really feeling insecure now. I'm still angry. Is it right for me to feel that way? I really love him so much. Please let me know when you post. And our next confession is as follows. Kindly post this for me and keep me anonymous. I've been dating a guy for a while now, and I'm just not happy with how things are going. He has a car and a good job. Because of that, lots of girls want him. He is very proud and tells lies a lot. I was walking with him in town one evening when suddenly a child came to hug me and was begging me for money. The child was restricting my movement, and I wasn't holding any money at the moment. This guy didn't mind and was just going. I tried holding him his hand because I wasn't feeling comfortable outside, only for him to take it off with a flimsy excuse and told me I was looking good, so you get me a guy outside. He can visit me and just ignore me throughout because he is upset with something very little. He ignored me the whole day, only to tell me the following day that he was tired and of watching a football match which has broke his heart. When he buys something, you talk about the amount he brought it, or ask me how much I spend on something. I hardly ask him for something, but when I do, you tell me you do it and later act as though he has forgotten. I don't know why guys are like that. When a lady tries to be nice to them and not stress them, they begin to misbehave, and when you are wicked to them, they say you are bad. I am a very beautiful lady with a nice body, and I get better guys proposing to me, but I don't want to keep multiple partners. It is bad to love and be loyal to one partner. Am I wrong?